Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with these readings for the birthday people, the idols that their birthdays are coming soon. Most of them are Aquariuses. So today it's the turn of Kim Jaejoong. He is a former member of TVSQ, and I have read for him in the past, and he has a pretty nice. Um, energy. I love to read for him. He has a lot of deepness into his persona. And I'm happy that I'm able to pick up that in the spread. So let's see what he has available for this year, this 2022. So let's read the cards that he got. He starting off. We start with the Seven of Wands, the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Six of Cups, the Six of Swords in reverse, and the Judgment. And then from the Oracle of the Seven Energies, he got the card of Willing Release. So yes, I think that he will start this year always with action. He seems to be a person that never stops, never stops working. I actually um, someone told me his Instagram page, and I started to follow him. And he posts like he makes a post like every day, and he posts a lot of pictures. So it seems like, and they are all related to work, I assume. And I definitely like his vibe. He seems to be always like doing something, like busy. And I love that it seems like he has this sort of independency where he can upload what he wants to upload from his everyday life. You know that sometimes idols do have Instagram pages, but somehow they seem like they sometimes they give this impression that they are like those pages are run by someone else, or that they are like uh, curated, like they are like under someone's management, like that they have to give them a sort of like permission to post them, and I think that in the case of Jejung, he does seem like a kind of person that he posts wherever he wants to, and I think that he it's really interesting because and also there's a lot of consistency, like he always posts something. And so I started to see his post every day, and I got used to his post, as if not as if I'm watching or I'm looking at an idol or a celebrity page, or someone that wants to sell something for me or to me. Um, I think he is more like looking at a friend's page, someone that posts their stuff or pictures of themselves that they feel very represented by. And that they want to share. So, I sometimes I forget that he is a famous person, like it's interesting. So starting with the Seven of Wands, definitely, um, I guess that what I could say here is that is what actually I was able to pick up from his last reading, that with all these actions and with all these things that he has for himself, it seems that he is protecting himself from something. Like he is like, okay, yes, there you go. I'm showing my life, or I am like showing what I can do, or I'm sharing freely my whereabouts, for example. There's a sense of defiance of the norm, of what's considered normal, I think that there's a sort of hidden statement in everything that he does. I don't know much about him. Like I always say, I only got to know him because of the fans that were very kind to share to me a bit about his personal history or past history. Even there was someone that asked me if I did a research on him before doing the previous tarot reading that I did for him, and no. But he seems to surprise me in the sense that I think that he's fighting back something, and I cannot figure out what it is. I don't know. I guess it has to do with the public's perception of him or with other people's perception. Like I sense that he knows that there are people watching what he does or want to know about him. So this is why he always posts something. So in order to show you, almost like rub it on your face, and I'm not saying this that this is for his fans or the people that enjoy watching him. I'm talking about this sort of, I don't know if he has like this sort of hidden haters or these sort of stalkers. I don't know, but it's like, oh, do you want to know about me? Like here I am. Here's what I have to show you. Um, and and it seems like a bit defiant. Like he's definitely like standing up to someone. He's like fighting someone or some people. So I don't know exactly where this need of him comes from to defend himself, to be like, okay, I have to fight you with content or with information. It seems like there are people that are obsessed with him and that somehow want to know about him. So he's like, I'm not that mysterious. Like, I'm not afraid of you. Like something that I'm not going to hide who I am or where I am or what I do just so you can get away with your manipulation. Something like that. It's very deep actually, guys. I'm sorry that I'm like ranting so much in this. Like I'm being very like informal when I try to express how this feels. But it feels like he is like giving a message to someone, some people. So, and he's doing it because he wants this. He knows these people are watching. So it's like, okay, there you go. You want to know about me? There you go. And then yes, with the page of Pentacles and the Six of Cups, yes, there's something about the past, definitely. He's still affected by the past. And I think that he will have to deal with this year as well. Because there's something about, even though he's very experienced, there's something about money. There's something about him having to do a lot of things to earn money or because I don't see that this person actually is that interested in money because I don't see him like saving money or being like, oh, I need to, I don't know, get paid this amount of money because I want to secure my future lifestyle or my family's lifestyle. No, because I actually sense that he's a bit of a free spirit. He's a bit of a wanderer. So I don't think that what he wants out of money is stability. But I think that there's something about money that I feel like people don't pay him what his value is. I think that he's a great entertainer and he's a great um worker, like a responsible person. He shows up on time. He doesn't give people trouble. He does his job. He's very professional. He's very friendly. He's nice to work with, but somehow it seems like they always like pay him less, or they delay his payments. There's something about money here, and I think that actually this sort of inconsistency in his payments, or how much he gets paid, it has to do that even though he's not interested in money or material wealth, he needs to be in control of his finances. He needs to take his incomes more seriously. I think that he doesn't realize that this money is important. That because I have the feeling that he's the kind of person that thinks about living the present, and he's all about, okay, like, let's be happy today, and somehow he is, I think that somehow this positivity of his is what allows people to take advantage of his willingness to work. I think that he's getting paid less than what he deserves. And he should definitely start to realize that. Because there's something about, because there's something about the money that he gets, it's a sort of representation of his value as a person and as a professional. So if you charge less, or you accept less than what you deserve, or what your price is, you somehow are like decreasing your value as a person. And I think that you're also enabling people to take you for granted. And I think that him, with all this expertise and with all these positive things about himself, he should be a bit more like protective of. I'm not saying like he should count every penny, but he should be a bit more serious about money. He should definitely get serious because he will need it. Even though now he's in this phase where he's like, I assume that he wants to travel, he wants to meet new people. He's not thinking about settling down yet. So, but in the future, he will need it. He will need uh, this sort of tranquility, of, okay, I have my money somewhere, but I have it. Um, and also, I think that, this is very deep actually, because I think that it all comes back to his roots, or his history, his childhood. I think that the fact that he is this sort of, like I mentioned, this sort of wanderer, and he doesn't want to be grounded. He doesn't want to, I wouldn't say he doesn't want to mature, because he's living a good life according to his desires right now. But I think that this sense of not wanting to grow up, or not taking like grown ups um, issues seriously, like for example money, it's a representation of how he is stuck in the past, and he's still a young boy that think that he's not worth it. That there's a part of him that feels like he's not worth it, that he's not valuable. This is why he receives what he can get. And he doesn't, it's like, as long as he's having fun, he doesn't mind. He's not obsessive about, oh, how much did you give me? It's but yes, definitely. And I think that also With the Six of Swords here in reverse as well, it means that if he doesn't heal his wounds from the past and also from his childhood, he will always get stuck in the same place. Because here we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So it means that he will not be able to go where he wants to go if he doesn't grow up or acknowledge that he does have a sort of wound from the past and that he needs to solve this. I think that when I read for him, I think that I got this feeling, this sensation of him always wanting to travel and to see other culture and meet new people, sort of as if he is running away from something. And I think that he's running away from his identity. I feel like he feels like he has no identity, like he is a child of the universe. And this sounds very Aquarius, actually, to feel like you are the child of the universe. That you do not belong anywhere. You are part of the vast world, but you have nowhere to belong to. And I think that he definitely needs to heal this because it will follow him everywhere he goes. Like, it doesn't matter how many trips he does, how many countries he visits. And talking about that, I think that also the part of traveling, like literally, like traveling, it will be a year where he will have to probably suffer a bit of restrictions, I'm sorry, when it comes to traveling, because I sense that probably has to do with the pandemic and stuff. That there's going to be a lot of canceled flights or accommodations or a lot of delays in this case. So and then we have the judgment. So yes, it's all these delays, all these cancellations, all these moments to stop his need to move all the time. I think that it's an opportunity for him to definitely answer the calling. That definitely there's like this inner force, there's this knowledge available for him to actually heal some part of his history, heal some part of himself. Because I think that he needs to spend time by himself with himself. I think that he sort of has this archetype of the orphan, where he doesn't think that he will ever be happy or find love. He definitely wants to, because I sense that he is someone that this is why he's so nice to people, because and especially he's so nice to strangers, because he thinks um that actually family can be a stranger, that actually your loved ones, the people that love you actually are sometimes people that are not blood related, and there's a lot of deepness in this way of thinking of his. So, but he will have other moments. I'm not saying that he's not going to work, because he will continue working, because he is a guy that needs to, like I mentioned, needs to stay in activity. Um, and also he's very welcomed everywhere, but I think that there's something about his inner child. There's a lot of, he needs to do therapy, he needs to like um like find some kind of healing for himself. I think he needs that, because otherwise he will always have this sort of like not so consistent identity. There's something about him not wanting to put a label on him, and somehow it seems like he doesn't know much about himself, and he would like to know himself better, but he just doesn't. There's a huge like void, or there's a huge emptiness in his. It seems like he's waiting for someone to tell him who he is, for to tell him, okay, where do I come from, what's my history, why this happened, and actually he's stuck in the past, because actually who he is, who he is now, in who he is as a person, is very different, and it's supposed to be different to his initial story, because we are always changing. We're human, we always change. And I think that when I think about the past, it could also have to do with him being a former member of TVXQ. Probably this also follows him everywhere he goes, and he is a bit like, like constantly brought back to a part of himself, a part of his history that maybe he doesn't want to be recognized like that anymore. This is why he tries so hard to differentiate himself from everything he had done in the past. But somehow it keeps following him, because it was an important part of his history, and also it was a very memorable one. Like I don't know much about TVSQ, but I think that he was part of them when they were really huge. So it's normal that whenever you talk about the band, you talk about him in there, him and the other members, of course. But I think that he definitely needs to heal from that. And also, yes, because of the card that he got of the oracle willing release. He definitely needs to release something. He needs to release, an old perception, an old idea, a thought, a concept that he had of himself. Someone told, an old information someone told him. He needs to release, he needs to empty himself of everyone's words and perceptions of who he is. He needs to empty himself of that, because he has the possibility to start over. We all have the possibility to start over all the time if we want to. It doesn't mean that you are not going to be yourself anymore. It means that you have different layers. You have different traits of personality. This is why every time I read the tarot, I always tell people, like, the tarot is not to determine your future or to determine who you are. I know that there are people that definitely feel a bit are at ease when they sort of like get a description or interpretation of who they are. They feel like, oh, like they definitely connect with that part of themselves that probably they weren't seeing. But if you look at the tarot a few months later or a few weeks later, the tarot will tell you something else. And it's because we are always changing. We are not the same person. As long as we are living, we are always changing. We are always changing. So if people have this perception of you from the past, you have to welcome them to your new version. You have to be like, oh, yes, we met when I was like this. But now I invite you and I welcome you to know me again, because I'm a different person. And I think that this is what he needs to do. He needs to do that. And there were a lot of also, I think that probably there were a lot of hurtful words that were said to him or that he heard about himself or his history. So somehow he carried that hurtful words with him, you know, and he needs to acknowledge that now he's a different person. and that he had done so much, he's doing so much, and he needs to appreciate himself for that, congratulate himself for that. But that's something that he will only achieve if he connects with himself. Because if he expects other people to tell him this, I don't think he will. I think this is a very personal process that he has to do with himself. And I think that it's a good time because I don't know if he's single or not, because actually I don't see relationships here. I see that he has definitely people around him, but I do not see a sort of like relationship, romantic bond or something like that. So probably if he is single, or if he is not dating, probably he has the time to be a bit like introspective and spend a few times like working on himself. So yes, guys, this is all I have for Jeju. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.